Back in 1994, Toyota introduced an unconventional little vehicle called the RAV4. It was one of the first compact crossovers around. Now, in the 24 years since then, compact crossovers have exploded in popularity. Last year alone, Toyota sold more than 400,000 RAV4s in the US. And that's why it's so critical that this all-new 2019 model is even more appealing to customers. With more power, improved fuel economy, more features, and this bold new look, let's go for a drive and see if the 2019 Toyota RAV4 has what it takes to stay at the top of its competitive segment. The new RAV4 rides on a version of the TNGA modular platform that's also used for the newest Camry and Avalon. Compared to its predecessor, it's a little bit shorter in both length and height, but it's a little bit wider and the wheelbase has increased, and that's what helps give this thing slightly sportier proportions from the outside than before. And in fact, the design is a whole lot cooler to me than before. Toyota says they wanted it to look a little bit less crossover-like and a little more SUV-like. You can see things like the slightly squared off fenders, the front end that looks almost like the Toyota 4Runner. It's a little bit more truck-like and rugged than the older RAV4, and actually I quite like it. I quite like the interior too. It's very well put together with a load of lovely soft touch materials all around. In typical Toyota fashion, all of the controls for everything from the radio to the heated seats, the climate controls are really easy to use at a glance while you're driving. And as you'd expect for a vehicle intended for family shoppers, there's a load of space inside. The back seat is really roomy. There's tons of headroom and legroom for a normal-sized adult like myself, and the floor doesn't have too much of a tunnel in it, so you could even sit kind of comfortably in the center position. Then around at the back of the car, the cargo area is 2.5 inches longer than before. You get 37 cubic feet of space behind the back seats, which is right on par with the likes of a Honda CR-V or a Nissan Rogue. Under the hood is a 2.5-litre inline-4 engine. It's good for 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. All the power goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission, and as ever you can choose either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now, acceleration is really good. The engine's very responsive, there's great torque low down, and with this 8-speed automatic transmission, shifts are affected really quickly, and it mostly keeps out of my way. I don't even notice the transmission most of the time, which is always a compliment in a car like this. What I will say though is that this engine sounds kind of gravelly. It's kind of loud when you accelerate, not even when you're accelerating like crazy, just when you're keeping up with normal traffic. Now, with the new engine and transmission, fuel economy has improved quite a lot. It varies depending on trim, of course, but you can now get up to 27 miles per gallon city and 34 mpg highway with front-wheel drive. And those numbers make the RAV4 pretty much just as efficient as the best competitors, things like the Nissan Rogue and the Honda CR-V. Once again, there will be a RAV4 hybrid, and again, it'll have all-wheel drive as standard. It also is more fuel efficient. It'll get up to 39 miles per gallon combined. We're really looking forward to having a chance to spend some time with it and see if we can match those MPG figures ourselves in the real world. Now, aside from its engine, the RAV4 drives really nicely in pretty much every respect. It's got really natural feeling steering and natural feeling brake pedals. It's very easy to jump in and have the confidence that it's going to go exactly where you point it. On twistier and bumpier roads like this, the body motions are pretty well controlled. It's certainly not sporty, but nor does it float around all over the place. There's also a lot of road and suspension noise, but of course that's often dependent on the road you're driving on. We'll have to spend some time with the RAV4 back on our home roads before we can make a full evaluation. In terms of in-car entertainment technology, every RAV4 has either a 7 or 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system perched up here on top of the dash. I got the optional 8-inch unit. It's got built-in navigation. I can do things like pinch to zoom on the maps. But no matter which RAV4 you get, Apple CarPlay, a Wi-Fi hotspot, and Amazon Alexa are all included as standard. Now, I don't think that this system really has the crispest, brightest, or best graphics you can find in a new in-car infotainment system. Overall, though, it is pretty easy to use. There are shortcut buttons on either side for me to jump to things like audio or phone settings, and using the on-screen touch displays are pretty easy too. There are also 5 USB ports all around the cabin, so everyone on board can keep their devices charged up. And ahead of the shifter, there's a wireless phone charging pad, so if, like me, you often forget your USB cable, you can still charge up your phone while on the move. In recent years, Toyota has done a really good job of democratizing active safety technology, including it on every trim level as standard, and that carries over to the new RAV4. It has what Toyota calls Safety Sense 2.0. That's a suite of technology that includes pre-collision braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and automatic high beams. There's also a road sign recognition feature. That means that in the instrument cluster I get a little indication of the current speed limit, as well as a little note of upcoming yield signs or stop signs, which is certainly nice to have on unfamiliar roads. You can also opt for blind spot monitoring as an option and a 360-degree camera. But my favorite new safety feature in the RAV4 has to be the camera-based rear view mirror. Normally it looks like a normal rear view mirror, but when I flip it down, instead I get a display from a camera mounted in the rear window. So far the new RAV4 has made a really strong impression on me. It's very easy to drive, it's actually pretty satisfying to drive. I like the new transmission, and I think the new chassis really makes this thing drive and steer and handle much better than the old one did. Now, I don't think that it has the best in-car technology, but overall there's a lot of safety and entertainment features in here that'll keep you pretty happy. I'm looking forward to spending even more time with it and getting some time behind the wheel of the new RAV4 Hybrid. The 2019 Toyota RAV4 goes on sale in December. It'll be priced from about $26,000 to $36,000. And then the RAV4 Hybrid goes on sale in March. It'll be priced from about $29,000 to $37,000. Now, based on my first drive so far today, the new RAV4 feels like a big improvement over its predecessor. First of all, it's much more attractive to look at on the outside. The interior is more stylish and much more functional for everyday family driving life. Couple that with the fact that fuel economy ratings have improved and there's more safety technology on board, and well, it seems like the RAV4 has what it takes to continue being a popular choice among car shoppers.